The views and opinions in this video and comments to this channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of this channel's broadcaster. If you have a complaint about something or find the content is being used incorrectly, please don't contact the broadcaster.
This is Balaclava Diaries. We're toxic, we're talking aggressive. If you don't like it, send a message. We're weed stimulated, educated, top rated, and never baited. I am the OG MacG. And to the far left of me, or shit, right in front of me, it's the last party.
You done know. You already know what it is. It's Balaclava Diaries. Please like and subscribe. As you see today, we have something special. You see the little branding, big up the people, them.
Yeah, it's going kind of nuts over here.
The brand is going crazy.
So, I don't know, man. It's a lot that goes on with this cannabis stuff, and right now there's a big divide between what, you would call the corporate and the legacy, you know what I mean? And the legacy guys, let's keep it real, are the real guys. They're the guys that been in the game. They, paved the way. They were the ones that were running from feds and fucking, pushing the limits and pushing the laws and pretty much creating the revolution, which led to legalizing what we know as, this recreational thing that we all love. You know what I'm saying? Tastes good, smells good.
Cannabis.
Gets the gal them in a mood. You know what I'm saying?
Weed.
So it's just kind of important that we kind of document and go through, what it was to, really create this industry. And it's crazy that, I have to kind of go into this a little bit before we introduce you, but it's weird how the hood kind of creates everything that is manifested into business. You know what I mean? And that's something we're going to touch on a little bit later. But, we're sitting here now with a trendsetter. One of the only Negroes in the game right now. We're calling him Jackie Robinson of the game.
First ever. Groundbreaking.
This nigga's fucking rounding third and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Home runs.
no, on some real shit, just a businessman, a businessman's businessman, you know what I'm saying? Quiet guy, you know what I'm saying? But they always say something about the quiet ones, you gotta watch out, you know what I'm saying? So let's all give it up for Big J right now. JAYSTAYSPAID, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but fam, where do we start? Like, we were talking before, there's so many stories, you know what I mean?
Yeah, beer stories, yo.
Beer stories, but we kind of want you to just tell us about the journey so far, right? So let's start with the start and then kind of bring it to where you are right now.
Yeah, like how do we get from a half a gram to this point right here?
And was it ever half a gram or was it, like
Straight peas,
I first ever started out young days, so like 7 grams was the first thing I ever got, right? And then, you got to grab that, flip that how you can, try to double up, go back, get 14. Once you get up to 14, flip that, get an ounce. That's high school days, right? But back then it was a lot different, obviously. And I feel like, it depends on what you're on, right? A lot of us are really... Oh, shit.
Sorry about that, bro.
No, you're good. Yeah, a lot of us are really like, we come from different backgrounds, but obviously back then weed wasn't what it is today. You know what I mean? Like,
sure not.
It was taboo. It was, if you knew
What
someone who
smoke ganja in the house?
yeah, exactly. Right? And so I think from that, obviously I knew from young days I was going to be smoking, right? And I always was going to do that.
Hold on, when did you become a real ganja man? I know it's like, men have their 1-2 I smoked the first time, but when did you know you're a real ganja man?
I mean, I'd say probably like high school days, I knew I was going to be smoking. Even when you first start smoking, you're like, all right, whatever, it's cool, this and that. But I think after a few years, I really knew like, yo, so I was gonna really be fucking with this. Right? I never knew it would be legal and I get to where it's at now, but I always knew at one point, like, yo, I feel like this is it for me, and I needed that to keep it pushing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But coming up in BC, like, is that just regular nature? Like, is that like everybody
that guy?
doing it?
I mean, I grew up in
know?
between BC and Alberta, and like,
Okay.
so most times I was in Alberta, and it was like it's a much different world out there, right? Like a lot of people,
Cowboys.
yeah, you grew up. That's the mentality a lot of people have: cowboys, cowboy hats, especially Southern Alberta, like Calgary. And then I would always go BC in the summers to visit my family, and that's where I really found out about what proper trees were, right?
Proper trees. BC has
Right?
a tank.
Yeah, because you get good weed in Calgary.
Like,
Yo, you have that Thanksgiving dinner, you know what I mean? In
Yeah,
October,
it
you
was
got to
literally
go for the walk.
my uncle actually put me on.
Your unks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have that? Like,
Yeah, my uncle was like
in the garage.
he was the
yo.
black sheep of the family before me,
Yeah.
and then once he put me on, I grabbed the torch from him, you know. But he put me on early days, Thanksgivings, and that when we go out to see the family in BC, and then from there, I
But
knew that
were you really a black sheep? Like, were you into the school thing? Were you like?
I was an athlete, right? So I always
Okay.
played sports. But
Okay.
again, like once you're playing sports, once your coaches and that find out you're smoking or you're hanging with
You're
those
off the
type of
team.
people, they're on your case, or
Yeah.
you're done, right? So basketball and football was what I was playing, and then I found out from there, like once they knew I was smoking, they're on my case, this and that, right? So
Okay, so from there, you're kind of bouncing around doing a 1-2, you know, hand to hands in the streets, high school time, buying a 1-2 kicks off the, you know, off the.
And
once
you
you-
got 1-2
You know,
chains, and then we have a chain.
Go to
You
the
know.
ball, they just dance with the fit.
You know,
once
you're
you're
fresh.
young making money, right? You know, right? It's like,
Yeah.
yo, I want to keep making money.
Where did that start though? Like, can we talk about that? Because it's not, you know, not every youth's thinking like, yo, let me go. Like, some youths are just thinking about, you know, fuck, I didn't do my homework or some next shit. Like, where did that energy come from to just be like a straight, you know, stringent businessman? You're like, yeah, I got the 7 and I flipped that to 14. Like, not a lot of people think like that, you know? Like,
It's true. I can't call it. I say probably like, yo, my mom was on it, like raised by a single mother. So I always seen her working, making money. Like she had to do a lot.
right.
From that, I think I really just knew you had to work hard if you wanted to make bread, right? And so the double up in that, I learned a lot from music. Obviously, young growing up, listening to music and that. Like I learned how to hustle.
Oh yeah, who's your inspiration? Who's the musical inspiration?
Hove for sure.
Hove for sure, yeah. Hove for sure, 100%. I used to listen to a lot of Jadakiss, like you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So
D-block,
from that,
D-block.
I think that's really where it came from. And then once I learned how to make money from that, and everybody was smoking back then, it just came natural.
What year are we talking about? Like, you're talking about Jadakiss. Like, what year are we
Man, that's trying to
talking
age
about?
me out. I mean,
Well, I mean, let's keep it real. You know, you already aged yourself
Yeah,
with Jadakiss.
you see no Playboy Cardi, Travis Scott.
Yeah,
Trust me.
never.
Said Jadakiss, you know, real trap shit.
I won't lie. I don't remember years. I won't even lie to you, but it was like, you know, I was probably like 16, 17.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's
high
super
school.
the super influential age. That's the age where like you're
Yeah.
being molded and shit like
Yeah.
that.
And
You're
even
in the
then,
Jada kids talking about shanking niggas in the neck. You're
Exactly.
like, yeah, I gotta fucking
This
get
guy's
this guy.
So
You know what I mean?
okay, can we? I don't really like to turn things racial, but it's just like coming up in, you know, Calgary and, you know, Vancouver. You know, whether you're visiting the cousins or not, you know, like you probably are sticking out kind of like a sore thumb.
100%, bro. I
So-
grew up in like around like 6 black people, right? Like in the whole high school, and let alone like the city I was in. So
That's
Yeah, man.
crazy. I
You
can't
stick
even
out.
imagine that.
no, it's crazy, man. It was crazy. It was a lot of white people, a lot of like
Fist
different
fights.
races, and you know what I mean? But it
fist fights.
there was no black
Because
people,
they say
bro.
nigga and
Yeah,
shit.
every day.
Oh, bro.
You're a nigga. You're like, fuck, man. This beat you up 2 days ago. Fuck again. Like, let's go. Like,
It's true. It's
Come
true.
on, Riley.
come on. Like, fuck. I just punched you in the face 2 days ago. Like, you already know what's gonna happen.
It's
Like,
true, don't they?
Yeah. It was a lot of that, bro. I mean, I grew up. I mean, you think about Alberta as like as almost like, you know, the southern area of Canada, like southern United States, similarly, right? There's towns outside of Calgary where I grew up called
Kinda
like
is when you
Blackie
break
and
it
stuff.
down like that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like,
I like that. That was a
south
super. That was a dope comparison still. I read
Yeah,
that.
it's southern. It's never going to be as bad. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm saying, there's a lot of that still. There was times where even you get denied going to the club if you're black during like certain times of the year.
I
Wow.
read that in the newspaper. one
Stampede
time.
times, things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I mean, as you get older, you learn to deal with that as it is what
So
it
you're
is.
saying no niggas go to Stampede?
Now, yeah, I'm sure there's lots, bro. But like,
Back in
there's
the
certain
day.
clubs who in Stampede times maybe didn't want that demographic in the spot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're playing bare nigga music in the
Oh,
club.
Cactus Club they got booked
Yeah,
the one,
Cactus
two
Club.
times.
Yeah, there's bare
and that's
movements
from
here.
the West. That's from like
BC, yes, makes sense.
It trickled its way down here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that happens, bro. It's part of it when you grow up like in those times, right? In that area.
All right, so we're kind of seeing the struggle now. It's the regular, Canadian guy struggle. You're coming up. They call it multicultural, but
It's
you know what I
not.
mean?
You already
In
know
the
white people are running the
classroom,
game. Running the
it's
game.
four niggas in the whole school. You know what I'm
They're all
saying?
friends.
Like,
Everybody's linking up. Like,
you're beefing, but if a white guy fights you, it's on.
Yeah.
But like sports too, right? Sports kept me in that like that other category where it's like,
yeah.
yo,
Oh, you're that
sports is the
token guy. You're the
past.
token
Yeah.
guy. All
You're
right.
like
playing
OJ. You're like OJ.
Basketball, football,
Yeah, you're the guy.
volleyball, whatever. I was playing every sport at that point.
You're
I was
not
just trying to
black.
do something.
You're OJ.
Yeah,
you know
You're
what
the
I'm
guy.
saying?
You can do anything.
So yeah, man.
And as soon as you start smoking weed down, they're like, whoa, nigga. Like,
Yeah. Hold up
whoa.
there. We didn't expect this one, partner. Like,
That's fuckery still. Okay.
But yeah, man.
So, Hoop Dreams?
Hoop
The
dreams.
What happened?
after the hoop dreams,
got
they end. You
crushed
start
and
barking the
then-
kush.
Yeah. So once I started moving kush in the high school, I got kicked out of grade like 11, I think it was, for selling trees. Yeah.
Moving kush in the school?
Well, what are you gonna?
Did
Yeah.
they bring the boy down or they just kicked you out?
They had the dogs, man. They had the dogs at my locker. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it was one of those ones, and then I had to dip for a year. I was out of there, and then back in. So like
Never did no like alternative schooling or nothing.
yeah,
like
you
that?
had to go to a next school if you get kicked out of that one,
Right,
right? To
yeah.
get you back into the main school,
Yeah.
right? So you're in there with like it's like what's that movie? I forget like where they're all the
Like
kids.
the rejects and shit.
Yeah, where they're all in there like doing extracurricular. You know what I mean? That was us, bro. So
Like the dangerous minds and shit.
yeah, I did that
With the
for.
suicide youth on the left and shit. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And
bad,
then from
bro.
high school, like, how do we get to what's the next step after high school?
Well,
now?
where I grew up at, so like you got to realize, right? I grew up in like a town northern Alberta, right? And at that time, it was the oil boom. So
Okay.
in the oil boom, there was only two things to do. Either you were out in the oil fields making like 30, 40, 50 an hour, right out of high school,
Right.
or you were working in the city doing your thing,
Okay.
right? So if you
Two
graduate,
choices: oil or street.
yeah, and
Yeah.
both paid bread,
Yeah.
right? So like.
Jeez.
You gotta supply the oil niggas. The oil niggas need a relief.
They
man.
got-
I mean, like,
yo, see that oil thing? It's dead life, fam. These man are calling hookers out types.
Nah, those man are spending
Desolate
bare
where they're at.
bread out there.
I'd rather be in the streets, kicks, club, life.
I don't want to be in the oil fields. Man, they're sweating beer, sweating dogs. Ew. Beer
both-
niggas around you. Ew.
We're both making the
Yeah.
same bread, but it's different work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the
So-
trees was always around back then, but it was, it was a lot going on. And so from there, like I just decided, this is how we're gonna do it. And then obviously there's only one place to get the good weed from, right? I had been going out to BC in summers to see my family. My uncle had put me on to people.
This guy linked up.
Yeah. and-
Honestly,
yeah.
some program, yes, so what you say? Let's say on some program. Is that what you're going to do it?
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once is reading the program.
So he put me on early days and I just built off of that.
Okay, that's
Oh.
sick.
Fuck. So, building off of that, now you're coming of age. You're around 21.
Sean Taylor.
Who you moving like? How you
21 I was doing my thing. I was living in Calgary then, and that's when I first actually started coming out here for a caravana.
Okay, the banner
Right.
days. You're saying
Yeah.
that weekend was crazy.
Because around then, like
Plane
a lot of
tickets
people,
heavy still. Man's
yeah.
not ticket in. Plane tickets real.
a lot of people from Toronto were coming to Calgary at that time because there was a lot of money and opportunity out there. Right, cost of living was cheap. You could get a good job easily. You could get a spot. Rent was cheap. All of that. So I started meeting a lot of people from Toronto, and that's how I ended up linking up from East Coast to West Coast. So I started coming out here, seeing what the smoke was like, this and that, and then it just happened organically.
Jeez.
Mhm.
Jeez.
So what was that like at that time? What was the difference you're noticing between like BC, like that's like what 2010 times and all them day there. So what's the difference you're noticing? What are you noticing them time there?
like little later. That was probably like 20, like 14, 15,
Okay,
like
okay,
around
okay.
then. And I
Trap
noticed,
days.
yeah, and the trees in BC were just so much better than
It was going crazy.
it was
Them
crazy
times.
back then, right? And it wasn't as much variety, but the quality was way higher.
Can you answer this for me? Did the sour diesel strain come from BC? The one we had in Canada? Do you know that?
I can't answer that. I feel like sour diesel, the proper strain, came from New York, as far as I know, and it always
Word,
came
eh?
up from New York. I can't. There were people in BC that were growing really good sour,
Right.
along with like some other ones. I know Pink Kush was bred in BC,
Okay.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like all the
that.
pink that you guys smoke out here, that came
Right.
from BC.
How about the purple?
That's New York.
Purple
I
came
New
from
York too?
I thought
New York
that
and
was
California.
that
One
was
of the two of them.
Cali
Yeah,
or
one of the
something,
two of them.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like because Cali and BC are right there,
Right.
a lot of the same things came up, right? And BC was able to filter that out. But yeah, there's a lot of those legacy strains like that. They really came from like those three kind of areas. And the weed you would get back then, like from BC, was like I said, the quality was crazy, bro. Like you roll up a gram, you put it in a blunt, even just in a paper, you're cooked, man.
Nah, it's true.
Yeah.
Game.
So what strain are we talking about these times? Is this like Purple Haze days? Is this like
So early days, like when I was in Alberta, what the most we would get would be like Northern Lights.
Oh,
yeah, we
that's
get
a fucking classic.
Northern Lights and like Juicy Fruit were the two ones that we would get all the time. And then once I started going out west, it was more so like your Pinks, your Bubbas, your Rock Stars, a lot of like Love Potion, Super Silver Haze, like you know what I mean? Those really classic ones.
Yeah, those are classic strains, though.
Yeah,
Those are
and
some real
it
classic
shows you
strains.
now, like you can't find those really anymore, right? Like it's hard to find a lot of those because now the game has evolved so much.
Yeah, the game's evolved to beer fod.
somebody should do like
No, they're still there.
retro thing. Like,
They're still there. It's just not a lot.
retro sale.
Yeah, there's just
You
not a
know?
lot of them, bro. Because like, again, it's like anything else. You got to keep those genetics alive, right? You got to keep that quality alive. And with the game evolving like anything else, you kind of move past a lot of those ones. People get tired of it, right?
Fam, I feel like if
Remember
the
a lot
youth
of
them
crazy
taste them
nights on
ganja,
Saturdays,
that's all.
though.
If the youth taste those cushions right there, they're gonna be like, yo, I need to buy that ASAP. Like,
Mhm.
No,
if
I'm
you
just
them
saying,
taste
like,
that,
I
they're gonna be
remember-
like, holy,
I
this is
remember
what you're
a lot
smoking?
of crazy New York nights from Dykeman. You go to Dykeman, you see the Puerto Ricans. You tell the man what you want off the cork board. He goes back, brings it back. It's fucking yellow. You know what I'm saying? Bust that down with the 1-2 grab off. Fam, you're
Man said
flying.
yellow. Man said
Nah,
yellow.
it's
That
like I
haven't
don't
near
know
me.
what it is.
Not
It's like
smoking nothing.
it's like Desert Storm in the back.
That
You know what
haven't
I'm
should be
saying?
near me, dog.
Nah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But so you know, after your 20s, now you now see the game kind of evolving. You're evolving in the game. You know what I mean? You're not, Nixon diming it no more. You know what I'm saying? What level of business prowess are you at this point? There's a lot of fear involved. There's a lot of, corruption involved. There's a lot of, things going on where it's like, you're a young man taking on like grown man tasks. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So kind of walk us through that, that part of the evolution, we're no longer kids no more. We're now in the game deep. Muddy boots.
Yeah, I mean, I left home at 16, right? And so from there, I really knew I had to make money, and it took a few different avenues, but I'd say around like those years, like early 20s, is when things really got thick, to be honest. And so, I had to sit down for a bit, things like that. But yeah, really from there, it was like you got to pick a lane. You know what I mean? Like either you're gonna really do this, like maybe work 2-3 jobs and really try to stack your bread and get somewhere someday, or you're gonna go this way and really try to make your money quick and have an
Double
exit
down.
plan. Yeah, right. And so I went, I dabbled in both, and at the end of the day, like made a lot of mistakes young, dealt with it, paid for it, learned from it, and then from there I realized like I really wanted to have a future and not just think so much in the moment. So it took a lot of time to get to that point, and then like maybe mid to late 20s is when I really started to like decide what I wanted to do out here. And so we stuck with the trees. I had like 2 main jobs, but I always had a little bit of trees around. just to be, you know, because I just couldn't let it
You're
go.
Yeah,
smart, man.
yeah,
Smart.
smart.
Now he's like, you're smart.
Yeah,
Now.
but like
I
still,
can still hustle,
Yeah.
but I can't hustle.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like-
every minute of the day. I gotta
and
do
like
something.
once you're that guy that everyone knows you have fire all the time, it's kind of hard to not.
Stop.
It's
Like,
on
yeah,
you to
it's
stay.
easy.
Yeah,
It's
because I
on
built
you.
those relationships with growers and people for years, bro. Right, and I was gonna still smoke, so I kept a little something, but we just did a little more structured, right? And I literally never thought at those times we would go legal. I
So,
swear.
yo, yeah, Trudeau says, yo, we're going legal. What happens at that point now?
So that was what? That was late 2018, right?
Yeah.
End of 2018, legalization came. At that point, I was about to move to Toronto.
Okay, welcome
Right?
to 6.
I was trying to come out here. I came out here, remember, like 4 or 5 years in a row, Caravana, OVO. Like, I'm like, yo, this place is crazy. Let me come out here.
That's YOLO
Like,
days. YOLO
Yeah,
days.
Exactly.
like,
literally. And
That's when Toronto was on fire.
fire. Those
fam.
are good times.
I
Man.
don't want to stop you, but Smoke Dog dying, and we gotta say R.I.P. to my man Jay West. This is our first shoot since Jay West passed, so we gotta R.I.P. Jay West a little more. But yeah, so after that transpired, Toronto changed. So was that something that kind of geared into COVID coming up? Did that change your whole mind state, or was Toronto like that valuable option that you could hit right away and just kind of stick to?
I mean, obviously Toronto in the legal side was late to the party, right? Like y'all did things a little bit differently, and it was really slow, and like they, all the politics behind it.
Right.
Whereas on the West Coast, the weed game had been like a thing before legalization, and then when legalization hit, they were more ready for it, right? And they were really, really doing their thing. And so coming from the West Coast to the East Coast, I thought it would be more advanced, but it wasn't. Quality.
Yeah.
BC is the home of that, right? We got a lot of growers that are out there still doing their thing. They've been doing it for a long time, passed it down. There is good weed in Ontario, Quebec, like you got a couple people, but BC's always gonna be the Mecca, bro. It's historical.
Man said the Mecca.
The Mecca, bro.
They're trying to touch the little black box if they're going to BC.
Bro. That's it, bro. That's where it comes from. It's the home.
Okay,
Out here in Ontario, especially Toronto, you gotta be popping if you want to get on. Otherwise, the niggas ain't fucking with you, bro.
Okay.
I feel like BC has a lot more brand loyalty. If you're from the old school, the legacy market, they rock with you.
Right.
So really, it took a bit of time for it to catch up. So even when I was living out here, I was still buying on the other side, on the gray market side, right? I would still pop into the low key dispensaries, this and that, and I was paying $10 a gram for fire, but it was like you're only gonna buy so much at that number, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then- and then
At
it
that
hit
point,
me.
you're like, fuck it. Like,
Yeah,
you're like, fuck. Like, I'm spending like half my paycheck on this bitch shit. Might must make them a little change.
yeah. Like there was only like 3 dispensaries open at that time, and I'm like, there's millions of people here. This is crazy. So I started just getting my homies back west to just mail me out stuff while I was living here.
Okay.
Just so I could smoke and have something
They got the
around.
postal service, you know what I mean?
Game changer. My 3 favorite words: out for
So,
delivery.
let's talk Say that again, my favorite word.
Out for delivery.
Okay.
hmm
Okay, when you
Yeah.
say that, when you get the notice in your phone, okay.
We love
So
that.
explain how mail changed the game.
So before the mail game, if you wanted to get weed from BC to Ontario, you had to drive it out here.
It's like a 48 hours, 72 hours. If a man's really working.
It's like a 3-4 day thing
That
to get
man's
it here.
working.
That's what you call trapping.
That's real trapping
That's
niggas,
real-
bro.
That's OT days.
Yeah,
like.
but
Right?
no.
So you go from having to drive it 3-4 days to get here to 2-3 day shipping, right? And obviously you gotta do your thing and follow steps, but it really did change the game in terms of being able to just to get what should have been out there, what should have been out here from out there.
Okay,
Yeah.
tuna days. The tuna
Tuna,
days,
yeah, the tuna
jar.
cans, all of that, right?
They don't put that open, poof. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
it smells strong.
Yeah, the tuna can days were probably some of my favorite times, bro. I won't lie.
Yeah, that was premium BC days.
That was different, man.
Nah, BC was killing it.
Yeah, that's when they had BC had the game on lock. When they had the tuna can days, that was
That's
some
really
crazy
bringing
shit.
me back to the pull can thing.
Yeah, no matter how you
Had
pull
the
that
plastic
open,
top, and
you
then
pull that open
pull
like
cap
Pop it,
Oh,
yeah,
out,
bro.
yeah.
And the whole room is done, right?
Yeah,
You
the
can't
whole
mask
room.
it, you can't hide it. There's nothing you can do. The whole room,
Wow. Shit.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, man. And then that's kind of how it went, right? And so I mean, a lot of people still know that BC is the home of the best trees in Canada.
For
And there's
sure.
a reason for that, right? Because of the roots run deep out there.
Right, man. So
Now we're
You
moving.
leave, yeah, you leave Toronto.
2020.
COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to BC. Are you up? Are you down? Like, is life good? Like,
Oof. Yo, I won't
because
even lie.
COVID changed a lot of mental
Yeah,
lives. Let's
definitely
keep it,
did.
you
So
know?
I won't even lie. So 2020, I leave Toronto. I had a spot over by High Park. Loved it. It was lit.
Wow,
It
so
reminded me
niggas
of
sing
Vancouver. It reminded
man,
me
seeing
of
all the
Because
little
the forest
the
is
gal
right
them
there.
around them. I
Forest.
don't
literally across the
okay.
street from High Park, bro. I forget what street it was right now, but it was across the street, like 2 minutes. I mean,
Probably Eglinton or something like
no,
that.
like that 1 block up from that Keel station.
Yeah, that's Eglinton.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Or like
that's
it was like
Eglinton.
Bloor and something. But yeah, anyway, I'm in High Park. I loved it.
Bloor?
Lost a spot. And then
Is it Bloor? It's probably Bloor.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Bloor. It's Bloor.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's on this side of High Park, not from the
Not the
No,
middle,
it's a
yeah.
block up from the station. It's Bloor. It's Bloor.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Bloor.
And
It's okay.
like Bloor and Keel or something. So
Yeah,
anyway, I'm
yeah.
over there. I loved it, but I lost a spot. And I actually went to Calgary first, check on my fam, make sure they're good, sort some things out. And then I was trying to get into the Wii game in Calgary because I was like, yo, maybe I could launch a brand, do something with that, right? The problem was at the time, Alberta wouldn't hire nobody with a criminal record.
One up.
Nobody.
One up.
Nobody.
Give niggas a chance.
Exactly.
Yo, government, give people a chance. You know what I mean?
So
Niggas make
hold on.
mistakes.
How
Give
are
us
you
a
gonna
chance,
put
bro.
me? How are you gonna give me a charge for doing this and then tell me I can't
Do
it?
it. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yeah,
That's fucked.
yeah.
That's
And like,
fucked.
it got weed charges on like on my record, right? So
Right.
I couldn't get a job in Alberta. I'm like, all right, let me go to BC because, like I said, Ontario wasn't there yet. There was like 3 stores, 4 stores out here at that time. So I'm looking at jobs in BC. Boom, boom. I find one, apply. They hire me like on the spot. Within like a week or 2 weeks, I move out to Vancouver. I start working dispensaries, and I wanted to learn the retail game before I launch a brand. Right? You got to learn the game before you play it.
Right.
It was new to us, so I was like, let me get in there. And then yeah, man, that's really what got me settled in Vancouver and knowing that like so corporate cannabis would be like someone who's got like that big tobacco, like big money, like public backing, right? Versus legacy cannabis, it's a privately owned company. You don't got a lot of big money behind you. You got to really grind your way from the bottom to the top to make your bread. You know, there's a future in the legal game once I seen how developed it was out there.
Dog, legalization definitely changed a lot of people's game, mindset, opportunities, how they view life. And I'm glad that you're able to take advantage of that. Like, it's a dope concept to
Yeah,
see.
because a lot of people said, "Fuck,
Road
they
man, that
legalized
stress.
it. We're done." So how did you look at that and flip that? Because I know you probably got a million calls. You know, when legalization happened, niggas like, "No, fam, I can't believe this is going on. We're done, fam. They're coming for us on road." Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of hate initially because there weren't the layout, the structure wasn't really there, right? It was early days, and then I think once people, it took some time to settle, but yeah, early on people were tripping about it, right? The growers of the gray market, they didn't know what was going to happen, this and that, and I think it really took time to evolve.
right.
And so I always knew I had these links and the things going on, so I was good. But yeah, it was early days were kind of wild, man.
What made it so wild?
I feel like just because there was a big divide between like the legal market and the gray market, right? You didn't know what was going to happen. People didn't want to be out of business, things like that. And I think what ended up going on was as time went on, people saw you really had to make a choice. Either you're going to shop legal or you're going to stick with that person that you've been having, right?
But that's what we always talk about. You know what I mean? Like, now that you're in the game, you know, we obviously got a big up dealer, and you know the efforts you're putting forward. But niggas is buying that street weed.
Of course.
Yeah, man's are buying the street because at the end of the day, yo, I got $25. And the man's Trump coming through. You gonna drop off the half quarter? You know, drop off the quarter. I gotta move far. Road weed will never die.
It won't. It
Will
won't
never
ever
die.
Especially because quality and price will never be matched. And I mean, don't get me wrong. The prices y'all pay out here, obviously we don't pay those back home, right? But that's because it's a lot closer and travel, all those things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it won't ever die because you're always gonna have those people who really just they got their people and they got their process, bro.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, are we not just talking about a market? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it about the marijuana industry that everybody wants to be the King Kong of the market, corner the market, our thing's better than your thing, blase, 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 yada, yada, yada. What is the point of that?
Yeah!
Phone back. All right, homie lost his phone.
My nigga lost his phone.
That's
The crazy view. We gotta hear him all every night. We got a phone back. We have it for you, my dog.
Yo, you need to call the baddest bitch in your phone right now.
No, some fucking scratches
This is a
right
lottery
there.
tick right now, yo. It's a lottery tick, yo. DM that bitch.
I thought you get that in the morning, bro. I think you got that shit in the morning, man. You good.
So where were we? We're talking about the industry, you know, it's just like, why does it still kind of have this capacity where it's like people are kind of dealing with it like they're on road? You know what I mean? Like, why is it that as opposed to you can do this gray area, you can do this like this corporate area, you can do this fucking whoever you are, you can do your little thing. I have vapes, you can do whatever. Why is it that everybody is so much at each other's throats as opposed to just recognizing it's different parts of an industry?
I mean, it's probably the same reason you shop at Walmart over like your local mom and pop store, right? Like the thing is, like the only reason why legal cannabis is successful is because of convenience, right? Yes, you can ring your brethren or whoever to come and drop something to you, but it's not going to be as convenient as you being able to walk home from the store after work on your way home.
I understand this, right?
Yeah.
But how many people smoke weed, dog? Like the market is so vast. Like, let's keep it real. You could be a roadman, but did you really see a drop off in your sales based on there being a dispensary? You think? Like, be honest with the people. You know what I mean?
Me personally, I can't really say yes or no because I think.
But you must know 1-2 mans that are, you know, they're trying to, you know, they're still in the game. Like,
there's no
they've
way
been in the game as long as you, and they're still at the same point. You know what I'm saying?
I think everybody who was in the game prior to going legal that had their clientele seen a drop, bro. It's impossible not to because of convenience, right? Not to say it was drastic. If you're moving larger units than that, then probably not because you can't walk into the store and cop a whole thing. Right, but like,
you can't come with people for $5 bills.
Yeah,
or $7
that's
bills.
not gonna happen. But if you had people who are buying 3.5, 7s, 14s, and that, of course you are, bro.
Yeah, you're definitely taking a loss.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, like a man can walk across the street or down the road from his crib. I'm on my way home. There's 2 dispensaries on my way home. I can stop off. I don't have to call your phone. I have to wait 30 minutes.
The quality and the price might not be the same, but at some point, a lot of people will sacrifice convenience for that.
Yeah, convenience at the end of the day always wins.
Right?
That's what convenience stores.
That's it.
Can't fight the facts.
That's why mans will pay $10 for 1 can of beer. Because on their way home.
It's the same thing as prohibition. Yeah. Same thing as prohibition when they legalized alcohol in that, right?
Yeah.
Like, those guys were pumping crazy alcohol out, and then once it's legal, you can get it anywhere. What? That shit died, bro.
Yeah, dilutes it then.
All right, yo. So we're going to go into our first segment. So, you know, we got the intro to how you became from the man you are today to the man you are today with Dealer. So our first segment is called First Time, Last Time. This is where they give a chance to talk about, like, would they ever do it again? So my first question to you is, the first time and last time you used a shit grower or a man that tried to finesse you on the phenoms.
First time I ever caught, like, a bad pack?
Yeah.
No, consistent bad pack.
You know, your man's like, yo, I'm going to get it the next time. You see you're talking to me about this bad?
Part of the process.
This is the first phenom?
No,
the next one's the second one, the third one, the fourth one.
Process, trust me.
Yeah.
The third, fourth time you buy it, I guarantee you.
Here's the thing, right? When you're dealing direct with like growers, it's a little bit of a different process than if you're going through a middleman. Because a grower is invested, right? They put their time, their energy, all of that into it. And they really take their product personally, more so than someone who's just selling you weed in a dispensary. They didn't grow that. It's just it's a work for them, right?
They're just fucking saying, oh, I smoked this.
Yeah, I smoked this. It was great. Blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. But a grower, they got passion behind it.
Okay.
So it's tough, bro, to go back to somebody and say, yo, this wasn't hitting.
Really?
It's tough because it's
came home with a fucking QP and that shit was not fire, I'm calling the girl tomorrow. I'm saying, yo, Brody.
Well, I think this guy's talking a little more than QPs.
You have to taste the QP. That's what you're tasting. You have to taste the QP.
Okay. My whole thing is this. What is that conversation like after?
Well,
Can you even have the conversation?
It depends on your relationship. It's a first time thing and you give me something that's dead. Obviously, I'm not hesitant to say, yo, this was dead. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But also, this isn't Walmart, bro. You can't just do a refund and a return.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I can't say, yo, I got a receipt. I bought this 3 days ago. I need my money back.
So what's the process?
Tell us the process, fam. What's the refund process?
There is none,
in
bro.
this
There's no
situation.
refunds in this.
So what? You're just taking an L. So if a man says, yo, man gave you the thing, you taste it, you're like, holy shit.
So
This
wait,
is trash. What are we
it must be
doing?
a war thing. It has to be something.
Yeah, you can't just take that.
I mean, it depends on who you are and what you're on, bro.
We're
Right?
talking about you though. We're not talking
No,
about
we
you.
don't need to put him in that chair.
What I would say is this: if someone's giving me something dead, I'm not settling for that. But at the same time, if we have a prior relationship and I know that's not your usual MO or whatever, then yeah, I'm gonna work with you, right? But this business is about relationships, bro.
Mhm.
More than anything else, right? Not every pack is always gonna be crazy, but there's a standard you got to keep if you want to
Okay,
repeat.
that's what we're looking
business.
for. We're looking for that answer because yo, if a man's always yo, I have the fire, like yo, this guy usually has a good pack, but this month's pack is not the same as last month's pack. What are you saying? You're gonna be like, all right, we'll work with you
Well,
still.
fam, like the man said, this isn't Shoppers Drug Mart or Walmart, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real life things.
Call your manager, okay? I need a refund.
Yo,
All right?
if
I
you're
bought a QP and the shit was ass.
if you're really grabbing weight and you're a hustler like that and you get something that's not what it's supposed to be, I mean, there's no
Still
pity
has to
party,
move.
bro. You got to
Still
move
has
it.
to
You
move.
might have to you might have to take an L on it. You might have to. It is what it is. But that's where depends on who you are as a man and a hustler, right?
Okay.
A lot of gorilla niggas out here, okay. Tell us a little bit about the downtown east side of Vancouver. We just want to know.
Yo,
like, this is-
CTV, City Post,
this is
they
all
say
gonna-
over here is crazy.
this
Mans
is
are
all
living on the
gonna- I've
roadside.
been on East Hastings. I've been there. It's Bucketville. There's a one.
Man
like,
said Bucketville.
when I went, there was a one West Indian restaurant. It was live. I'm not gonna lie. It was, like I can imagine it's like, a black community or whatever. Or I'm not sure. No, not at all. Or
East
So, yeah, tell us
Hastings. That's what
I
I know
could be
about.
wrong. I'm a Toronto man. I'm guessing. I was out there for like, probably like a week and a half. Vancouver. I did a one East Hastings because I heard about the block.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
give us the whole rundown of downtown East Side.
East Hastings is hell on earth, bro. I'm gonna put it to you straight like that. It's hell on earth. There's no place you would not want to be more than East Hastings. You can't walk the block. You wouldn't dare, bro. It doesn't even make sense to do it. And what
Zombieland.
the Zombieland, bro. You I don't know if y'all ever seen The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
but like that first episode of Walking Dead where things break out and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
really
yeah.
turns crazy. That's East
It's the only
Hastings
episode I watched.
on a
It's
daily.
fucked.
Yeah, that's East Hastings on a daily.
crazy.
And I mean, different things happen down there and they try different things, but at the end of the day, like they would rather have all those people primarily in one place, like
Concentrated.
Hamsterdam in The Wire. You know what I'm talking about? It's
Yeah,
Hamsterdam,
yeah.
bro.
That's how the black cop got fired.
Yeah, literally. East Hastings is Hamsterdam. If you ever seen The Wire,
Oh,
that's the best
that's
way I can
crazy.
put it to you, bro.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. I never been to Vancouver, but that sounds
It's like
mad
community-
because
oh,
there's a
okay,
community
so-
of beans. That's fucked. Like,
So you said before that like BC has kind of stricter laws on marijuana and so on and so forth if you're dealing with the corporate side. What does that make you feel like knowing that they have a place like East Hastings and they have these take legal drugs here spots, but at the same time they're putting heavy laws on marijuana, guys? Like, how does that correlate in your mind? Like, does that even make sense?
I won't lie, bro. They don't really care about weed in BC no more. Like, you know what I
Word,
mean? Like you
word.
can roll around with a certain amount on you, and like even if you were to get pulled over,
not stressing.
they might just take it, but you're not going to jail. You know what I mean? Like they got way bigger problems to worry about out there than weed. Like the gray market out there, like physical stores like you guys have out here, those are gone. You don't have those, right? It's only legal shops.
Mm.
But if you have something on you, like even a QP, for example, you get pulled, like, bro, they don't care. It's not that deep.
Oh, here they're making an example of you. Get the fuck behind the wall, brother. You No, they're making an example out here for a QP for none. They're like, man's are laughing at you. Like,
Yeah, it's really light, to be honest, bro. It really has changed. Like, and like I said, BC was a lot more advanced with a lot of this stuff. Like weed was a lot more accepted out there for many years.
yeah,
Prior to
definitely.
legal, right?
Cheech
And
and
so
Chong, you guys used to have like the fucking cannabis
So
cup out there
what
and
are the
shit.
main differences you would say you see between the OCS and what was it called, the BBD or whatever? What was
the
it called?
BCLDB.
BCLDVD or whatever. It's like 20 words or some shit.
To be honest, I can't really say it because like a lot of what I do is mostly with OCS and in Ontario. Like I live in BC, but I work out here.
Right.
Mm.
But what I do know is like the BCLDB is liquor and cannabis together, right? And so even right now there's a strike, there's a
That
potential
just says
strike about to
that
hit.
just says old school to me.
Yeah.
Old school thought
Yeah,
process.
it is.
You know?
They group those two together even though they're completely different.
Right.
But it leads to a lot of things being, you know, mixed up. But the biggest difference I would say is that what BC understands is that B2B is important in that market, right? So like the link between a legal producer and a buyer, like a store or a retail chain, they need to have that link without the government, without the BCLDB getting in the way. Whereas the OCS has not launched anything like that yet.
OCS is all up in the middle.
They want to be in the middle always of all things.
Trying to
They
hold
want-
your hand.
They want to
Hey,
take out your. They
you
want to
grew
take out
it?
your pocket.
You
3
sold it?
times.
You bagged it? We're here with you, OCS.
No, you
We're
know what OCS
here.
is like? No, hold on. Let me
No,
break it
those
down.
niggas are like your like
tell
you're trying
me
to
if
build
I'm
your
wrong.
dukes.
Tell me
Every
if I'm
step of the
wrong.
way.
Tell me if
Trying to
I'm
build your
wrong.
dukes, fam.
Tell me if I'm wrong, though. OCS is like, you link the man, OCS links you after. Yeah, you link the man, you make the sale, OCS links you after. You made the sale? Is that kind of like the process, or are they just micromanaging every move and...
I mean, they similar to that. I think the big thing with them is like, I think they like to watch other things work first before they implement it, right? But like the success of doing direct delivery in BC should show them that yes, it can work. The problem with Ontario, bro, is we're talking about over 1,800 stores out here. Whereas BC is like in between 400 to 500 stores. So it's much more manageable, right? Whereas
Versus-
Ontario's a different beast, bro.
Yeah, too many
Right.
stores. We're going from, yeah, you can buy the half quarter of that jar to a man going from, you can buy the bounce of the road. That's what they're afraid of.
It's
That's
true.
basically what they're really afraid of.
Yeah.
You get your half quarter delivered to you, or you can get the roadman to deliver it from you. From the same company, just a different price tag. Like, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they're afraid of.
It's a different beast, right? And so I think until they really are able to adapt to what BC's doing and like they see the success of it, it would make everyone's life a lot easier out here if they were able to implement it. And I think they are going to start to do it with alcohol first. And if that is successful, I could see
They
them
used to have
doing
that
it.
shit was in college, bro.
Mhm.
They used to call that nigga the Rocket Man. Yo, you caught the Rocket Man. Yo, I need a pack of blunts. And you go to the LCBO, get me a bottle of Henny. He'd be in there, shit, at your fucking crib. $20 for the delivery, 2 stops. Just, you know, running. It's
So-
the same thing.
Difference between dealer versus corporate? Or is there a difference?
Massive difference, bro. Dealer will never be corporate. So the thing with dealer is that it's a privately owned company. So it has no big backing from like tobacco, alcohol, any of these other people, right? Whereas a lot of these other big brands out here have that. So dealer is actually a privately owned company who really is a bunch of people like myself from the same similar background, right? Where it's like we all came up on the other side. We wanted to come into this legal thing to really have a good brand to stand on and really show that like, yo, there's a space for us here that we can really do our thing. It's not just for those corporate types with all that.
Right.
And like again, dealers it's a brand and an LP, but it's also a processor. So like dealer has a facility that they built. They pack their own pre-rolls. They put all their own weed in the bags. They seal everything, they stamp it, they ship it. Like it's not just a guy who just grows weed. They got a bunch of people who were growers in the gray market and convinced them to go legal to bring more good quality weed into the legal market.
So let's talk to that for a second, because that's almost a huge initiative. That's almost like reform.
It
in
is.
a sense, right?
It is.
Kind of talk to how that process works.
So really what happens is like, think about it. If you're an illegal grower and you're making, for example, $1,000 a pound,
Mhm.
right? You really need a lot of initiative to say, okay, I'm going to go from making $1,000 a pound to maybe half of that on the legal side. But now I have a legal operation on paper, which I can then do things with, all of that.
Is that not exactly like streets road? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're moving, you know, smart, you're gonna have.
I mean,
Don't answer, but
you know, like but it takes a certain level of influence to be able to convince these guys. And there's prominent brands in the market right now who Dealer, the people behind Dealer, helped get them even into this game, right? And they wouldn't be there without these guys. And they don't claim that, they don't step to that, but like, it's a real thing. And so the goal was to just bring more good weed to the market and not have it all go only gray market.
right.
And again, this isn't even touching on the whole export thing, which is a whole different thing now.
I've been hearing.
Yeah,
I've
and
been
so
hearing.
Dealer really just said,
we did the documentary with Strains, and he went into the whole export.
Yeah, exactly. And so Dealer really said, let me just get these micro growers. So micro grower is about like, you think you only grow 3,000 pounds or less a year, which for an LP
That's
is
crazy.
Hold on, wait.
that's a micro.
What do you mean micro, fam? Micro means small. So
Yeah.
what's the
3,000 P's
A year.
3,000
a year.
A year.
That's fucked, bro.
So that's where the real term craft comes from, right? Craft is not just some word that people throw around to sell more fucking weed. Craft means that you are only growing small batch, high quality, and don't have a big, massive facility where you can just go crazy in there, right? So what Dealer did was they started getting gray market growers licensed in a craft micro facility, and that's how you keep the quality high.
The fuck is
Right?
the person who dreamt up this company? Who is that? Who is that?
I mean, he's a guy who, like I said, he comes from the other side, and he's someone who had the vision to just say, yo, like, I really want to see these guys win.
Want to see the streets
Yeah,
win.
exactly. And that's kind of how it is, right? And so he cooked up this whole thing. He brought all these guys together. He convinced them to go gray market to legal, and he wants to keep that quality within the market and really show all these other corporate big backed companies like, yo, all you can throw around all the bread you want. You can do all this stuff. but
Don't
it's-
have the culture.
You don't have it. You're not there with
You're on
us
the road.
because
You're on the
this is
road.
new to
Don't have
them.
the horticulture.
Yeah, you don't have your niggas. You don't have us. You don't have the people that really like this shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, next segment.
All right, yo.
That's crazy.
All right, so the next segment is what would you do? So Street Smarts or Book Smarts edition. All right, so pretty much this is the opportunity, how would you handle something in the street side or on how you would handle it on the Book Smart side. All right, so yo, how would you handle an employee going on their Instagram or their Facebook Live dissing Dealer?
How would I handle
Street
it?
side or
How you handle that?
would you do it the street way or would you do it the book smart way?
I mean, here's the thing. I work for Dealer. It's not my brand, right?
Fam, you gave a man a job.
No, of course.
Man said, "Yo, fam, my belly's hurting me. Belly, I grind me. Can't buy a split."
Here's it.
You know what I mean? The man said, "Yo, don't know Dealers and things."
This guy's been through this.
So now his heart's hurting him. So how are we handling this?
It depends on the person. Because in
Okay.
the legal game, people are quick to snitch, bro. Okay? I'm gonna keep it a buck, and I'm not going to
So you
jail.
got yo, pussy what?
Yeah.
Man's like, "Oh my god, he called me a pussy."
So we dealt with this.
Harassment
We dealt with
charges?
this. We did deal with this. We had somebody who worked for us. This was actually before I started, but I know the story intimately. And he was one of those. He was one of those who was like, we hired him. He had a job to do. He knew his job, and he got out of pocket one time. I think it was at Kind or something like that. To be honest.
Oh no! What do you mean? Wait,
You got out of-
everybody's supposed to be on their best behavior.
This guy was not. And so my brethren, who you guys met, he had to handle it a certain way that most of these legal people wouldn't have dealt with it that way. but it had to be like that, right? And sometimes, there's certain people you could, and my boy says it all the time. Not enough people get punched in the face today, bro.
Nah, for real.
Every
We
man
talk
needs
about
a
this all the
death
time.
funds at least once. Before 8 years old, you should catch a death funds from someone your own age. So you know what a box is.
Maybe even like every 10 years just to keep you in check, bro. Because a lot of these guys start to get real comfortable. And it's like, it's legal. It's a legal game, but I'm still going to see you.
Yeah, on road in your fucking face, pussy. Like, I'm on here.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, not enough people get checked. And I think that's the problem with legal cannabis is everyone treats it like it's like, oh, it's legal. There's all these rules. And it's like, but
I'll see you on road.
Exactly.
Okay. You didn't have to say exactly, though. I'm trying to help you out here. We'll cut that out. All right. So we're gonna dig a little deeper. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Do you think BC, like, we kind of went over this a little bit, but the efforts to kind of, at one point, facilitate drug abusers on one side, and then, they don't care about weed, but you can get in trouble for weed, but you can do some cocaine at this one spot, and you can fucking do needles at this one spot, but we can harass you for weed. What does that dynamic do to you as just a person? You know what I mean? Like,
anyone with half a brain knows it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, how are you going to allow this over here, and then, get me for this over here when it's the lightest of all the things, right? So it's like, the problem in BC is like the drug problem, the hard drug problem has gotten out of hand. You can't do nothing about that.
That's what happens. Man's gonna just do heroin,
bro,
cocaine, anywhere in road.
Why is it like something about these areas like Portland, BC? Like,
anywhere near the water. This is the water.
No,
the water brings drugs.
Town, I feel it's like that small town.
Nah, the water brings the drugs, brother.
I feel like small towns is always a drug bed. Like, wherever, if it's not like a dense population, people are gonna do enough drugs because there's nothing to do. There's no sports team. The local sports team's like the OHL team or some dumb shit. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. People, when they got too much time on their hands, what else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Right? You're gonna do drugs and get high. You're gonna do something, right? And so, I mean, I haven't lived in BC long enough to really see how it evolved like that. Right, I've only lived out there for the last...
You've heard stories, though.
Yeah, I've been there the last 4 years, and I've seen it even get worse since I've been there.
Right.
But I wasn't there in those early days where they really probably could have done things differently.
From what you've seen, though, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, they legalized drugs for a year, bro.
A year. Imagine a year, and the game just changed. Fucking 365 days, the fucking game changed.
What are we doing here? For a whole year, you could walk around with 2 grams of any substance on you.
That's fucked.
And they thought that was going to help the problem, bro. I'm not a politician, but I swear to God, that don't make sense to me.
Yo, Master walking over heroin, ketamine on them, strapped up like Batman utility belt.
I don't want to say this, but there's probably a lot of Diddy sightings in Vancouver for that 1 year.
That's fucked.
It was a 2-year pilot, and after year 1, they dashed it.
Bro, niggas are walking around like Batman with utility belt. Niggas are out here just fucking strapped. What you need? What you need? Like, what? Bro, if I had 2 grams of multiple drugs in a utility belt, that's a fucking bad night. You're up. What are you doing? You're
what do you think?
Batman, like,
what do you think people across the country did, bro? They came in packs. They came in packs, bro.
Yo, homie.
Bro, it was like the playoffs for trappers, bro. Niggas are going for the championship, dog.
Yo, dog, I'm dead.
I'm telling you, bro.
Man, we're talking about fucking 2 grams of any substance.
And I'm not talking back in the day. This is 2 years ago.
Who was the Charles Barkley in that game?
Bro, I don't know no names, and I'll be honest. Like, but it was noticeable. You're riding through the streets, and you see people that were never there before, bro.
Yeah, you see new niggas.
From everywhere,
posted on the block, ready for war.
America, East Coast, everywhere, bro. It was, why not? You're not getting in trouble. The police they thought it would curb the problem, bro. And it was crazy. It was crazy.
All right, yo.
Telling you.
All right, we're gonna segue into our last segment.
When rich white people try to solve poor people's problems.
Literally.
It doesn't work out.
All right, yo. So our last segment is called the Balaclava Breakdown. So this is where we analyze like real life moments in the streets. You know what I mean? And then give our insights. So for you, the question is, why does every weed brand feel the need to link their brand to gangsters? That's one. Got to it up.
Or some like artist or something, or like what is the
I mean, culture pushes everything, right? Like, why does any brand try to link their brand to what where we're from, right? That drives everything. It's been like that since the transition
Right.
from pop music
All of
to
that.
hip hop,
All of that, yeah.
right? It used to be pop, da da da, and then hip hop took over, and that's what Jay and them used to say at the Rock when they had the Cristal thing, and then there was that whole.
It actually started with St. Ides 40s.
Mm,
St. Ides 40s ran that campaign, and it started with Death Row, and then
Mhm.
it kind of trickled its way over to Wu-Tang.
yeah, yeah,
Everyone was getting checks. So
yeah.
I'll do the liquor commercial.
But remember, like you remember, the reason why I use Jay as the example is because Rockefeller was popping more bottles of Cristal than anybody in the
Yeah.
2000s. And then remember, dude came out and was like, I don't fuck with black people or whatever the hell he said.
Yeah.
Right? And then Jay was like, fuck that. I'm going to run my own brand and popped off Ace.
Yeah.
Very rare that you see someone use the culture against the business.
Mhm.
That's why people kind of rate Jay so much.
It's
you know
true.
what I mean?
But like, that's why these brands now, the formula is there. They know who's spending money, who's popping, who's doing
Yeah, they're
things.
doing the algorithm. Back in the day, it was just straight off the vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Algorithm
don't like
killed-
niggas, so fuck you.
Algorithm killed artistry. Algorithm killed authenticity. Algorithm killed what it was to
Too many
put something
numbers.
out there and fail and learn from it.
Mhm.
Numbers,
You know what I mean?
numbers
Yeah,
run
you
the
think
game,
it's
bro.
just
It's just numbers,
This is what
analytics.
you should do. This is what you need to do. This is what you got to do.
It's like the
and then you'll
NBA.
get
No,
this
but
many
what you're
people.
saying is like the NBA. The NBA is not the same like it was back in the day. Imagine
course.
trying to draft a nigga and be like, yo, you're 7'5".
Oh, fam.
Nobody's doing that anymore.
David Justice was just in an interview and he's like, Moneyball's bullshit, nigga.
Literally.
He's like, yo, that was a bunch of niggas that came together and tried to make something work. Nah, we got a 1-2 stars and we made it work. It was all young stars though. You know what I'm saying? So it worked out. But he's like, Moneyball is bullshit. So that corporate bullshit, I can't really take it, man. That's why we do interviews like with people like yourself.
Yeah, we want to get the real. You know
That's
what I
why
mean?
I'm sitting here and listening as opposed to trying to interject too much. You know what I mean? Usually I'm cutting people off. That's my main thing to do. But
Hold on, we got one more, yo.
no, we got a couple more.
All right, so the next one I want to ask is, you know what I mean? Based on the Balaclava breakdown, why do weed brands fail?
Oh, man.
This is from your perspective. You're in the game.
Yo,
You know what I
hold
mean?
on.
You've seen beer
Listen,
niggas go
hold
like
on.
this. Oh.
This is the cautionary though. We know there's a lot of haters out there, so you know,
No, it's calm.
say what you gotta say, but don't. You know.
Like brands like LPs, why did they fail?
Yeah. Any weed brand, LP, Legacy, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a couple layers to it. I think some of the easiest way to put it is a lot of these guys treat the weed game like either it's alcohol or tobacco or something else, right? And they try to think they can come in here, throw a bunch of money at things, do whatever.
But you can't do that with liquor.
I mean, you kind of can. Like,
You can.
and again, it depends. Like, so here's the thing: you got to break it down by
Like, look
by
at 50.
province. Yeah. But that's a crazy one because 50 reinvented himself multiple times.
Well, I mean, but the liquor didn't do nothing.
It didn't, but he didn't really lose nothing off that because he had
But
other
I'm just
things.
saying the brand in itself. You can't just jump in the game and think automatically.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
I think the difference is this: in Ontario versus BC, right? In BC, because of the legacy market and its roots, you have a lot of brand loyalty.
Okay.
So if you come from the gray market, the other side, whatever you want to call it, and you launch a brand, and prior to that launch, you had a backing,
Okay.
people are more loyal to fuck with you and they're gonna support you.
Okay.
I feel-
Versus non-Ontario.
Versus Ontario, where I think a lot more people in Ontario want to really see what's popping and who's doing well before they jump on that.
This is the fucking Toronto in a fucking bag.
Hold on. The man's
That
not
is
even-
Toronto in a
the
fucking
man's
bag
not
right
even
there.
From here. We've had
That
people
was
say
Toronto
this
in a fucking bag,
in
bro.
every single fucking. Doesn't matter whether they're up. Doesn't matter whether they have fucking awards. Doesn't matter whether they're fucking not from Toronto. Fucking white yachty. You see
Every
what I'm
man
saying?
says
Came
the
on our
same
show
fucking
and
thing.
says the same fucking. Something's different about Toronto.
If you are not successful, if you're not an actual like,
But OT niggas get love in Toronto.
yeah, because they're seen as something a
I
little
know
bit different.
this. I know this. A lot of niggas I know are from New York, Detroit, whatever. They come out
Because
there, they
there's
tell
yo,
you stories.
Well,
listen.
because they're popping where they're from. bro.
No, any market.
gotta have some
No,
bullshit.
listen.
Of
This is
course.
what it is.
I feel
Any
like-
market that's not from Toronto is seen as successful. So that is like, okay, we're gonna gravitate towards that. That's just how it goes in the
It's a
six.
crab in a bucket. Let's keep it real. Like
You can call it the same thing.
No, whenever you're in a mega metropolis, and let's keep it real, Toronto's really the only mega metropolis in Canada. You know what I mean? Like we're ranked whatever country in the world, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Let me get that.
Yeah, I need some of that too. But
Yeah, a
because
couple
yo,
of
my
cubes,
drink's
brother.
hot, you know.
Yeah. A couple of cubes, brother.
We got a camera. We got the ice.
Are we going too long or you're good?
No, we good.
Okay.
We're almost done, no?
Yeah, we got like one more
We're
second.
wrapping
Yeah,
this
it's
up.
calm. It's calm.
Probably get 2 questions on the balcony and that's it.
Yeah, it's calm. We're good.
But okay, yeah, let's just jump into the next question because so we probably have 3 more questions and we're done. 3 more questions.
That's cool.
Yeah, because the whole thing about this shoot when we put it together, again, it's gonna be like I think we're gonna cut it into like
Parts.
5-minute, 10-minute shorts. Right?
Yeah.
So we need like to have a lot of BTS after this. We need to get some of you on the balcony, whatever, and it's gonna be like a segment that we kind of post like every week for like the next 4 weeks.
That's
type
hard.
shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just on the Friday
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Bless.
And then we need to come to Vancouver to do the real thing and wrap that.
And that's when I can take you guys around and show you what's going on.
Yeah,
So,
we gotta figure it out.
That's what we just do. The East Days. We need to do
Yeah,
the
man, I'm
bullshit
going
story.
to man's even the B Central. I'm out here at the crackhead core of the six. Like,
To be a 2 crackhead.
you know what I mean?
Try not
I'll
to get
take you in
stabbed.
there, bro. I'll show you.
That's
bro.
what take you in there.
With this out
But the thing
Yeah,
is,
we
like, you
definitely-
gotta remember, bro. Like, it's not like you. I get it what you guys are saying, but it's also like
real.
niggas are getting stabbed with needles and shit out there in those
No,
hands,
it's
bro.
real.
That's fucked.
Real.
Yeah.
I have to wear, look
I
like
have to
that.
wear the hazmat suit like the dog one.
It's not a joke, bro. Like a lot
No,
of
I
people are
believe you,
like,
I
I know
believe
how
you,
bad it is, but
believe
you really, unless
It's
you really,
crackheads, fam.
Fam, crackers are different,
bro,
bro.
it's literally hell on earth and Amsterdam. If they had a baby, that's East Hastings. Like I remember Nate Dogg, Snoop, all them came out for a show. Warren G was
Warren G
walking.
got fucking almost
He got
rushed.
fucking rushed, bro. And he done his live like, yo, this place is worse than LA. La, la, la. I'm like, these niggas are from the hood, bro. Like, what do you know?
So you're saying man's gonna get robbed? Yo, love,
I'm not, no, you're not
ready.
robbed. I wouldn't worry about that. You're from out here, you're not worried about getting robbed. It's more so like you get poked with a dirty needle or some shit.
No, you ready?
Nah, that's
You ready
fucking
to run?
HIV.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Fam, man, it's a different type of death.
You don't go looking for
I asked
it.
this guy about downtown Vancouver because I knew it'd get hype. I do.
And I live downtown, so I know. It's not like I just pop through sometimes. Like
You have to drive to that.
we're
every
down there,
morning.
bro. Yeah, me and homie are down there, bro. It's not a joke.
This is being recorded.
Yeah. All right, yo. So the
Okay,
next
okay.
part, yo. So we're about to finish off the segment, yo.
Yeah.
All right. So how you handle the street or book smart? Your employee says, "Yo, fam, you're trying to get a ting? Yeah, I'm trying to get a ting. I'm gonna give you like 5 packs right now. My boss not even gonna know. What are you doing?"
Talking about someone robbing me?
Yeah, your employee say, "Yo, 1, 2,
2, 3, boss doesn't
You know what I mean? Yo,
know.
$60 right now. You know what I mean? What are we doing? Trying to resell the kush. What are we
Yo,
doing?
you gonna do it like Dave Dash did on the fucking what's it called? Ultimate
So
Hustler?
what are we doing? What are we
Trying to
doing?
promo merch, nigga.
Yeah,
Niggas trying to-
that's not happening, bro. That's not happening.
Are we handling the road man or are we handling Booksmart? How are we handling this, bro?
That's road. You mean you're robbing me? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's not happening. Yeah. you're
Okay,
done.
different situation, same scenario. You've had somebody that you built a brand with. You've been with them for years. You've been, side by side, so on and so forth. You find out they've been robbing you the whole time, but you just signed $1 million deal, and he's the man that made it happen.
Ooh.
Don
Are
King
you
shit.
handling this
Street smart,
street
Booksmart.
smart or book smart? Are you taking them to court after you get your check, or are you
You're gonna punch him in the face. In the
gonna Mike Tyson?
Yeah. To be honest, like I'll probably handle it like Tony Soprano, bro. Like
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like to your face, I'm gonna give you, you know what I mean? Like
Gonna kiss him on the cheek?
yeah, I'll give you, I'll let you know what's going on, but like you'll never ever know.
Pause.
Yeah, what's really going on? Yeah,
Kiss on the cheek was a
You're
pause.
getting shrunken out of the business slowly.
yeah. Like bro, at the end of the day, like disloyalty, robbery, all that stuff, you handle it the same way. right? There's only one way to deal with it.
Betrayal.
100%.
Right.
Right? It's in the same category as snitching, right? There's only one way to handle those things.
Bam!
No. That's the wrong. No, that's not what we're going for. Okay.
I didn't say violence. I just made a gun. I just made a sound that sounded like a gun.
I didn't say anything.
It was a fucking, like, you know, what's that nigga? What's that shit called? In the summertime, what do you them shoot them? Summer scorcher. Super soaker. Yeah, you don't know. The super soaker goes bam, 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 bam. The super soaker goes bam, 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 bam.
Keep that for the private run. I know,
Fam,
brother.
cheers. This is fucking fire, bro. You're
Respect,
yo,
bro.
one of my favorite interviews, bro. Definitely top 5 in the cut.
Respect.
All right, we also gotta ask him. Oh, we got 2 more questions. We gotta ask him the last one.
You can do that. But
Alright.
my first question before that is we're sitting here in front of all this merchandise. Dealers kind of made this jump, almost a leap. You know, I saw you a year ago. You handed me on one thing. I saw you next year. You had 6 bottles in the car.
And he was handing out things. Like, he had 6 bottles. He was giving out shots. He was giving out saps. He's like, my nigga, help me, yo. Lincoln Big was fire, yo.
He's like, yo, brother. You know the rich man laugh.
You know what? You know the Gucci belly laugh. That belly.
You gotta get it all off.
You know what I mean?
But tell us about that progression, because that's the biggest. That's why we're here. You know, you're in this position. You're repping this. You're putting your best foot forward. But there's obviously a reason why, and I feel like you had a lot to do with it, right? So tell us about the expansion. Tell us about the growth. Tell us about the start. Tell us about, you know, whatever. We learned a little bit about it briefly, but take us into the grind before we head on.
Yeah, I think there's different ways to grow, right? You can grow organically off of people who really either reputation, relationships, you know, how you treat people, all that kind of stuff. Or you can buy your way up, right? And I think someone like me and the way that I do things, I can't buy my way up to nowhere, right? People fuck with me because they know what I'm on, what I'm about, and how I treat them. And I think that's what the last year was about. You know, a year ago when we did the Lake and Bake and all that stuff, the interview, that was early days. I really just started. I was trying to pop something off out here.
This guy, early days was a year ago.
The man's balling out now. We're out here drinking beer, Henny, popping bottles, drinking beer licks. Like,
I mean, but this is literally how I am anyway, right? Like it took time to really get to that point out here. But when you're the away team, it's like you got a chip on your shoulder. You got something to prove.
okay.
Right? We're not from out here. We know people out here. We got roots out here, things like that. But we're not from here, bro. So you gotta really know what you're doing and be solid in what you got going on to really progress. Like people out here, I'll give it to you guys. You know when people are bullshitting, right? It's not hard to tell when someone is just on some bullshit, bro. Right?
Dog,
Like
this is the screw face capital.
it's the city of hustlers, bro. Everyone out here has to hustle, and I respect that.
2 jobs and a little bit of fraud.
Yeah, that's been his line. Because when I met this nigga, I swear to God, that's literally his moniker. He talks about it. Yeah, you got 2 jobs and a little fraud, you know?
Whether you're Chinese, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Indian, 2 jobs and a little bit of fraud.
Crazy.
That's how it goes, man.
You'll have 4 cars in your driveway? That's serious?
That's how it goes, man.
No, I get
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
80 hours a week plus a
All right,
little bit of
back to
fraud.
dealer, though. Back to dealer.
Yeah, I think it really we said, yo, look, like you got to realize we're one of the biggest brands in BC, right? Like I'm not saying that there's no
Whoa.
cap in that at all.
Let's talk about like how you guys kind of took away the back end, telling these growers like, "Come with us, dog. We're gonna make you legal." So you obviously cornered the market.
Well, again, it's relationships. We've been working with them pre-legal. So if they didn't fuck with us on that level, they would have never decided to go from where they were at to the legal side
in
to
the
make
first place.
less money, but also it's a long-term goal, right? It's longevity if you're gonna go on this side because now you have
this
that.
is like generational legacy wealth.
Of course,
basically.
of course,
yes,
right? We're talking
yes.
about like your dad grew, your grandfather grew, your uncle grew, that type
Right.
of thing, right? So it took our relationships and how we deal with things to get them to this side, and then once we have them, we gotta show and prove. it's one step to really say, yo, come to the legal side, but then it's like, yo, we got to move your product. We got to show people that you're really doing what you're saying you're gonna do, and you got it. And I think that's how we grew out here. Was we brought the formula from BC, which was like to have good weed at a good price and have brand loyalty, bring it to Ontario and show you guys like, yo, there's also a lot out here that we have to offer. It's not just smoke and mirrors, right? The weed is good. The price is blessed.
I like that.
Do you think that you get kind of like a pushback because you're the Vancouver guys and they know you guys have better weed? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I don't think
it's
so.
Our niggas hating on you. That's what he's asking. Our man's hating on you.
I feel like I wouldn't say no one's hating on us. I feel like Ontario has been more receptive than
you get love.
we would have thought, but it's because I think we approached it in the right way. We didn't come out here saying, yo, we're the best. We have this, we have that. We came out
It was
here.
humble. It was humble.
Yeah,
It was
exactly. And that's how you got to do it though, right? Like, of course we know that our product is on the upper scale of things, but it's
like-
you guys to tell us that. It's not us
It's
to
like
say.
going
Yeah.
to your hood cousin's house. You know, you go to the hood cousin's house, you gotta wipe your shoes off when you go through the front door. It's just dirty as a motherfucker in there and shit. We've all been there or been the hood cousin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, it's like you gonna go in there humble. You gonna go in there with love.
of course.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna go in there and be like, you know, respectful. Yes, auntie. No, auntie. Thank you, auntie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No disrespect. And quite frankly, there's a lot of brands that come out here and don't do that. Throw a whole bunch of bread around. Not to name any names, but Tokyo Smoke threw up like 40 stores in 2 weeks, and you could probably count how many are left.
Yeah. It
Right.
really is about who you are and how you handle yourself, right? And I think you guys see through a lot of the bullshit. It takes a little bit of time, whatever, but
Bam, bam,
we
Balaclava
built it
Diaries.
within a year. We went from the new kids on the block to, we're in the majority of stores out here. You can walk in almost any shop in Ontario, especially in the GTA, and you can find one of the dealer products, if not multiple.
Jay, you strike me as a Michi. Is drugs the end?
What do you mean?
Is drugs the end to this business, man? Because you came up, you got 7, flipped it to 14. From 14, moving from left to right. We're not going to say where to where. You know what I'm saying? From there, I got to get corporate. I get corporate. What's the last step for a nigga like you, bro? Like you're kind of moving like magic, Michael. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Non-stop.
Freedom,
You're
bro.
here.
Freedom. All I want is freedom. Like, I want my goal is cannabis is not the end of the road for me. It's never that. My goal is freedom to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, how I want. Right? And you need to have multiple
Generational
streams, bro. Like,
Right.
that's the end of the world. Like,
Generational wealth.
so
Think
can
about
you,
it,
Can you tell us? Not that I know you're gonna go into your speech. But
nah.
Can you tell us what that move might look like?
Not really, because I think it changes. Like, here's the thing, bro.
Man doesn't want to show us the flash, bro.
It's not that. I'm not gatekeeping.
Disappear. Let's
I'm not gatekeeping nothing. No, on everything. But I think
One day
like,
we're gonna see him, and one day we're not. Like, yo, what happened to that nigga?
I'm gonna be
nigga
on
was sick.
vacation and just see this nigga with the big beard and shit.
bro, you might. I mean, I might be in Tahiti chilling for a year, and then I might pop over to. It's the freedom to be able to do what you want, how you want to do it. Right? Like, we didn't get taught that when we were growing up. Nobody
Not at
taught
all.
us about investing. No one taught us about, how to.
Black kids, it was get the right job,
None.
do the right job.
40
Do the
years,
That's all we knew. That's all we knew.
pension,
Pension.
retire. Bro, fuck all that, man.
Yeah, you gotta live life.
The
man.
world
Fuck
has
that
changed.
shit.
So
Yeah.
if you got it like that, you know that there's more out here for you than this. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lane to make bread in this game, 100%.
Right.
But it's not the only lane I'm driving in, and it'll never be that way, bro.
Multiple cars. Vroom,
My
vroom.
You
nigga.
need 6 to 10 streams, bro.
You heard that nigga. You heard him. You
Yo,
need
teach
2
your
9 to
youth
5s
still.
and a fraud.
Bro.
You heard him. You heard him.
Last question.
Last question
And we
is,
got
all right,
2
bro.
questions outside for the lump or whatever. Just stupid shit.
All right, yo, so the question is, when do you wear your mask? So obviously you see us wearing masks. When do you wear your, I guess you can say your
Proverbial
proverbial mask? So if you're in the corporate setting, you're talking to some people that may be super light
You're at
skinned.
home.
You're at home.
You're
You have to be.
Shanti.
Where are we wearing this mask?
Where's the thickest mask you wear? On the podcast? Like,
To be here right now, yeah. I didn't even think about that one. We think we do a good job. I never asked that one.
Nah, y'all do still. But I'm saying I don't. The mask is like, I don't really wear it, bro. I don't really wear it. I won't even lie to you.
Yeah.
You're,
No, it's okay. It's okay. You're good. You're good.
yeah. I feel like, to be honest, you know the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're on.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies, bro.
But fam, that's the premonition for this show.
Yeah.
You wear the mask so you don't have to. You can be as real as possible.
Yo, this
You know
is as raw as it gets. To be
So,
honest,
is there any place in your life?
there
where
is.
you wear
Like,
a mask?
we got to do a lot of different things, right? To get to where we're at, we have to obviously rub shoulders in the corporate world and the other
Yeah,
side.
hail me. No, because when we ask this question, niggas always like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to say
wear a
that.
mask.
I don't ever real I don't feel like I wear one. No, but you're a real
No, that's
because
too-
this is real, bro.
Yeah, there's certain rooms that if you want to be in those rooms, you have to move and act a certain way. It's not fake, but it's more so understanding your audience and where you're at.
Thank you.
Right?
I like how you put that because that's real
Time
shit,
and
bro.
place.
100%. And,
Time and place for
it's like
everything.
that. Like there's certain, that's why I think like our team and who I work with, we work well together because we all have strengths and weaknesses. So like we're not gonna put someone in a position where they need to do something that's not in their character because it's not in their bag, bro.
Like you're not putting certain men on presentations.
No,
You know?
I'll say
Can't
this.
fumbling the words and shit. Like
So-
can't read.
When I was young, I had a mentor, right? One of my homies, like from time, and he was a really good dude. And he told me, he said, yo, as you go older in life, you have certain tools on your tool belt, right? The different life experiences give you different tools to use. He called it keys. And he would say, at some point, you're going to need to pop this key to open this door, right? And you get it from different things
Keys
that you've
open
done.
doors.
100%.
Right.
So he would always tell me, yo, at some point, whatever job you're doing, whatever experience you go through, whatever,
Right.
you're adding tools to your tool belt. And when the time comes, you need to use that, right? And not everybody has the same tools. So when you work in a group like this or a team, each person have a different skill set.
Nigga, I want to work for a dealer.
This fucking
I'm trying to work for a
teamwork.
dealer. Get me a job.
No.
I'm
Hold
trying to
on,
work for a
hold
dealer
on.
too. You know what I mean?
That's-
Like,
no.
that makes me sick.
I'm gonna be
I'm trying to
honest
work for a
with
dealer
you,
too.
and this is the first time I've ever said this on camera. When I started this out with two other men, right? And they just weren't ready. They just weren't, they weren't trying to look at who had strengths and who had weaknesses and who could do what. It was too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So now we have a team that's kind of unstoppable because every man's like, nah, that's your job. Nah, I'm like, you're strong at that. You do that. You link this guy because you know him. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy you touched on that because that's what makes the strongest teams. Michael Jordan's not jumping for fucking rebounds when Dennis Rodman's in the fucking key,
No, bro. Every man has a position, you know what I mean? Everybody has to play it.
Yeah.
right?
To get to
So-
that next level, everybody has to realize what their strength is and how their strengths help the team to reach that next level.
So
And if you
to
can't
break
see
it
that,
down, the future of dealer in your eyes.
I feel like the
And
future.
you're gonna answer this again in Vancouver. So
Yeah. No, I got you. I feel like, I mean, from my perspective, I think the future of dealer is really longevity, right? We want to weed out those other people who, in our opinion, aren't in it like how we're in it. They're not in it for the right reasons,
right,
things like that. They got different, motives. It's all about the bread. Don't get me wrong. We're all trying to make money in this game, right?
yeah,
We
you're
all
trying to make
try
money
to-
for 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, 100 years, 150
course.
years, 200 years. What do
course.
you want?
But we're in the position where we actually put people on, right? We put growers on. Like these guys go from making, a couple dollars a gram to maybe more than that.
they're making them's.
Yeah, and I mean, again, growers, don't get me wrong, they got it tough, but we're not trying to
That's
rank
like
nobody.
who could you compare them to in Breaking Bad, yo? They're like Jesse, yo. Jesse,
Yeah,
just in
Jesse,
the
he
fucking-
knows
just
the game. He knows how to do his
cooking
thing. He
all
can
day,
work.
yo, just grinding. and
But yo,
shit.
I don't know how to make it to the next level.
I can't
Growers
be
aren't
Jesse,
wearing
bro,
Air
because he
Forces
let a
and shit.
gal, mess this whole shit up. That can't be me.
Okay.
But I get what you're saying though. Jesse was
You
about
niggas
it.
are fucking. What you name? Why you name I hot? And I had.
Eisenhower. was
Yeah,
it?
that's what niggas are Eisenhower. The niggas are Eisenhower. That's what they're
No,
doing.
I'm just saying to the effect where it's like that's the grindest part of the job. Of
course.
You know what I mean? You're in
Yeah.
the dirt, you're in the grind, you're in the water, you're in the, you know what I'm saying?
But also,
Sunlight,
we don't
bro.
handcuff nobody. Like if we put somebody on and they want to grow and go on their own, we don't do no legal shit. We don't sue them. Let them go, bro. Go ahead. We helped you build a brand. You now have a standing. Now go, spread your wings and fly.
As long as you hail us, as long as you hail up the dogs them in the interview, you know
How
what I
many
mean? They hail up
growers
the
would
dogs.
you
in
say
it.
there is in Vancouver?
that are really putting out
that
fire.
are like
Vancouver
Tough.
or BC?
BC. Sorry, BC.
There's a lot,
Yo,
bro.
when
I
we
won't-
go out there,
Okay,
I want
but
to
is
know.
there like is there a top 25 list where man's know these are the top 25 names you have to call if you want to?
I'll be honest, a lot of them don't have a name, right? Like a lot of them don't have a name. These guys really do their thing. They're from it. They're about it. They don't want shine. They don't have an Instagram. They don't have
Just
a
love weed.
website.
Right.
They operate on a different playing field, especially if you're talking about central BC, where like a lot of the real fire comes from, Kootenays, Okanagan region, right? But there's definitely growers out there who are doing their thing. And I think this new wave of like social media and that has given people an opportunity to grow as a brand. Whereas like
Right.
10, 15, 20 years ago, you weren't a brand
No
as a grower.
access, yeah.
You just had gas and you had a guy who would come buy 50 to 100 units off you and do his thing with it and you're good.
Yeah, the
Right?
game's definitely changed. It's not the same
100%.
anymore.
100%. So I think that has bred a whole new evolution. But
It's also a monster.
of course, there's a lot of good weed out there, bro. And there's a lot of people doing their thing.
Yo, we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
But
Hold up, I got one more question. Yo. At this point, what is the difference between the Ontario market and the BC market?
We asked that already.
No, he's gonna give a different answer right here. Don't worry. Question answers.
The biggest difference between the Ontario market and the BC market on the legal side,
legal side,
I think the direct access to good trees.
direct access.
Direct.
Ontario doesn't do that.
Not right now. So right now Ontario has two options. Either you're generally listed, so you have to keep a certain amount of units available at
Right.
all times for everybody to order, or you have what they call a flow-through model, which is it's in a different place. It's a different, potentially maybe even different like options than the general one. But the flow-through model takes 10 to 14 days to get delivered, whereas the general option takes like less than a week.
Okay, see Tessa?
Why
You see
are they-
Tessa?
Dog.
Hail me.
No.
Thank you. And I was
Well,
like, yo,
hold
why
on.
you asking the question again? I knew it.
You
Thank
see
you.
how? Oh God.
Thank you.
It's
Now
like
your
you've
pussy
been
will
in the
on top.
streets
You
and
see
you've
pussy
seen
will on
this
top?
already. Of
course.
You've seen this already.
Whereas BC has a general option, which is again same thing within a week, but they have a direct delivery option, which is like for some people within 2 days. So let's say we're us and dealer, right? We got a whole bunch of new fire in. We're gonna put it in these bags. Here's the strains, this and that. Our direct delivery menu is gonna be different than our general listed menu.
So you can get the street weed off the direct delivery, basically.
You call me and you say if you're a retailer, okay, you got like 3, 4 stores, even
What if
one
I'm not a
store.
retailer and I got a medical card?
No, I don't know about that. But but what I will say is
Get
this.
a store, okay?
If you got a store,
we can
if you
talk
got a
to you,
store,
right? If you
right?
ain't got no store, we talking to you.
You got a store, you got bread, and it's
We can
all
talk.
above board. You say, yo, Jay, what do you guys got right now for me that I can get this week? It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm gonna say, yo, I got this, and this for you. Here's how many cases I got. The guys around you, they don't have this yet. We just dropped this today. Right? There's this many
You'll be
units.
like, send that to me
And
right
you'll say, give me
now.
6 of this, 10 of this, 20 of that. And now you got 3, 4, 5 different things that the people around you don't have. Right? And you're gonna get it by the weekend. So when that Friday rush hits, your stock is on 10.
It's that sell off. It's that sell off. It's that sell
The
off.
OCS ain't doing that.
Not yet. We want
One day.
I can't speak for them because I don't know their whole process, but right now as it stands, no, they're not doing that. But that's
As
what
it
works in
stands,
BC.
As it stands,
Tell me, Jay.
this interview is over. It's
Come on.
over. Shout out your Instagram. where people can find you.
Mod.
Stay paid. You can follow us at Support Your Local Dealer, Know Your Dealer. They keep shutting us down because we got bear haters. I'm not gonna lie, but hit us up.
We
on
know
there,
what it's
man.
like.
Yeah.
But we could probably teach you how to avoid that. Keep it real.
Off camera.
No,
Yeah.
off camera.
Bless. But yeah,
No,
that's
yo,
us,
thank
man.
you. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate y'all,
That's some
man.
real shit.
Respect.
Yeah, this was a dope interview.
Respect.
You
Thank you
came
for
with
your
the fucking
time.
fire here.
Always,
Thank
bro.
you for your time.
Got
Thank you
you.
for inviting us to the fucking nice spot. We got the CN
You
Tower.
know
and
what
stuff.
I mean? We got a
Appreciate
couple
y'all
more
pulling
clips
up.
to get outside. Yo, you ain't done working yet, eh?
Yeah.
You gotta go outside. We gotta take some photos.
I'm never
It ain't
done
done.
working,
It ain't
bro.
done.
I'm
It
never
ain't
done.
done.
Nah, but honestly, it's been a pleasure and to kind of give us more information on this game because we're kind of looking from the outsiders in and That's why we want to kind of educate people about this stuff.
Yeah, we're the
because
consumers, so we
a lot
want to
of
give the
people-
consumers the
a lot of
understanding.
people just look at this as like, oh, I want to buy the $20 weed at the store and blah, 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 but they don't know about, you know, the fine tuning. They don't know that there's an upper echelon wine. They don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know, like, it's like you're buying Tramba your whole life, and then you find out there's a Casamigos 2 years after you've been buying Tramba the whole time. So we gotta educate people, yo. We gotta let them know that it's out there. And thank you again, brother.
I know.
Thanks.
Got
Don't
you,
know.
bro.
Hell
This is
no,
OG
Darius.
MacG.
Bless.
This is Mr. Let's Party.
Bam, bam,
Like and
bam, bam.
subscribe. We out here.
Okay, yo. We're gonna take a photo.
I know gal them are looking for a free meal and a come up. CC gal them want to really get to know you and help you grind and come up.
Okay.
Bumbleclad. Yo, I won't even lie. The Toronto women,
Man said Balaclava.
trying to come up off you, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. BC women, a lot of them come from money. They got their
Okay.
own bread. You know what I mean? They'll take care of you out there, bro.
Okay.
Take care of you out there. They got the little house. They got some money stacked.